I'm Molly Metz. I'm a 5-time world jump rope champion. I've been a competitive jump roper since I was 7 years old. Jump rope is just part of me. It's my passion. It's what I was meant to do. And I created a new type of jump rope.
I'm Lonnie Johnson. I am an inventor. I've been inventing since I was a small kid, all the way through high school until now. I have, at this point, over 140 patents. I am now a member of the National Inventors Hall of Fame. The invention that I'm most known for is the Super Soaker water gun.
My name is Rashawn Conaway. I'm a lineman. Very dangerous, tedious, and a nerve-wracking job, but it's rewarding. I love it. I created a new type of hard hat.
Inventors have been able to succeed here in this United States because of their protection that they are afforded through the patent system. Patents are the great equalizer. They can allow men, women, white, black, they can allow all of them to seek franchise from their intellectual property. The playing field is professed to be equal, in that if you pursue a patent and you have the due diligence over time and you remain committed, you will in fact receive the award for your intellectual property. The ecosystem of innovation starts at the mom and pop level. So you have everyday fathers, everyday moms being driven to innovate.
In 2004, I was in a very bad car accident. I was knocked unconscious. I broke my ankle in several spots, and it really messed up my hip. So it really changed the way I jumped. I was jumping crooked. The jump ropes out there were not working for my setup faults. I really needed to create a solution for myself to fix that problem. So there's a dual bearing system inside of this jump rope handle. Along with the bearing system, I have an articulating eyepiece, never to be found in any jump ropes. When you're going at high speeds, you want this wire to follow your hand wherever it goes. Because if it doesn't, it will cut, it will shear, it will break. Really, that was the problem that I solved with all the jump ropes that were out there at the time.
The pursuit isn't always necessarily to get rich, it is to do a better good, a higher good. The ecosystem of innovation in this country needs to be nurtured where these individuals are encouraged to come forward and contribute.
All right, one of the problems out here in the field working is the hard hat and the lighting situation. As you can see here, it's easy to manipulate and come off easily. When you're up in the bucket, you can't use a flashlight because you have to use both hands.
One solid blank.
What?
Another problem is communication. When you're up in the air, 30, 40 feet in the air, you have to yell down. Sell your electronic devices around, that kind of stuff. It's a no-no. The problem is the helmets of the day does not have the integration of communication and lighting. So I thought, why not put it together? We decided to move forward and do something different, do a new innovation on it, and it became this particular product, which is the iNod helmet that has lighting on it from the front side to the back side. This has the ability to communicate, two-way radio, open channel. I said, well, there ain't no way in the world I'm the only one who can think of something like that, but found out there's nothing like it. My overall inspiration is from my father. He's always been an unofficial, like an inventor. And so I'm thinking, this could be big. Went to him and I said, Dad, look what I thought about. He was like, go do it. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So here it is.
Are you an inventor or?
No.
What?
No, I'm not an inventor. Not by a long shot. I'm a blue-collar, hard-working man that loves to create and loves to come up with ideas.
It's very, very gratifying to come up with an idea and see that turn into reality. It's like magic. What worked for me was licensing. Patent protection was the foundation for doing a deal. because with that, I was able to get resources, and now I am an independent inventor. I have my own company. I'm now focused on advanced energy technology. Diversity and inclusion in the patenting and invention process. People come from different backgrounds, will have different perspectives and different ideas about how to approach a problem. It's extremely important that everyone be included in the process.
You know you've created something really innovative. You get that ribbon and you think, wow, I'm an inventor. I'm just Molly, a jump roper, and I have a patent.
Patents should afford you that guarantee of ownership, that guarantee of reward for all that sweat and hard work and angst that you have endured. However, we are having this conversation right now because our patent system right now is, in fact, under attack. Our patent system used to be strong, but that is no longer the case because of recent changes to the patent system.
The patent system now is facing some challenges. People are having more difficulty, particularly smaller inventors who don't have the resources that big corporations have.
You have examples of young men and women reaching deep into their pocketbooks, reaching deep into their life savings, right? All to no avail. Rashawn Conway. The process and the road that he has had to travel has been arduous, at least. The number one issue brought up with present-day Black inventors, a lack of resources, and oftentimes a lack of access to information.
I knew it was going to be a struggle. I knew it was going to be, and I was in for the long haul. But I did not factor in all of the other little processes and all the things that happened as we started going further into getting the patent. To get that kind of information, they have to dig. We gotta add this. This is gonna cost you. They got a late fee on this one. They got, like, what? With everything, expenses, right at $100, maybe close to $100,000. But when we got ready to file in for the final patent, it was like that punch in the gut. A refusal. Oh, really? Of course, it was a helmet. Which it was a helmet, but everything they had was nothing like what we developed. Everything that I got in this helmet is integrated. Everything that they showed us was attachments. My patent attorney just said, this is normal. They usually reject it 2 or 3 times. Hold on, 2 or 3 times costs me thousands at a time. I have no big time backing on this. It's just me. You put everything you got into this project, you put your heart into it, you put all this concept into it. You know there's nothing out there in the market like, because you've been in the industry over 30 years. I'm finding myself running into those same similar problems my father was running into. He's always been an unofficial inventor. As a little boy, he came to me and he said, son, one of these ideas, I'm getting a patent. He got this letter where to get this process started, we need X amount. That kind of money was like, we did what we had to do, he paid it. Then all of a sudden, months later, they come back with another fee. And he just couldn't do it. The patent process for him was like this. It did something that Vietnam War couldn't do to him. It took the breath out of his lungs. Some of the gadgets that he developed, he just sort of put in a box and sort of slid it to the side. And I'm thinking, man, when I get older, when I get there, I'm gonna make sure this happens. I'm gonna make sure this happens. Last year, April, the pandemic started. My thing was to let him see it happening through me before he passed. We never got a chance to say, look at this prototype, Dad. So the problems my father was running into, I'm finding myself running into those same similar problems years later. You put everything you got into this. It's not a night that I don't lay down thinking this could be the day I lose it all,
So it's the time, it's the expense, and it's the uncertainty that is proving to be a nail in the coffin for many small inventors like Rashawn. These problems are multiplied tenfold, right, when they are referenced towards minorities and women inventors. The recent AIA Act, the intent was in fact to level the playing field, but it had some unintended consequences that are hindering someone like Monty Metz.
Creating that jump rope technology, putting it in the hands of other jump ropers on my team, seeing their reactions, seeing their scores go up, I thought, I might be onto something here, right? The patent just gave me this sense of, I could grow, I could license, I could do big business. I opened a jump rope gym, a CrossFit gym. 150 kids on my jump rope team. At some point during that test, you did this. So if you did that, you're actually quite normal. The rest of you guys are super weird. The patent, it just gave me that overall, I can do anything now with this. These patents were gonna protect my technology. I started my company, Jump and Rope. I started selling jump ropes online. Shortly thereafter, I started seeing companies online, selling my jump ropes. I would reach out to these companies and let them know, you're infringing. And so they would stop or they would purchase ropes from me. And it wasn't until 2012 where the largest fitness manufacturer in CrossFit started to infringe on my patent. Rope after rope after rope, all with my technology. Every year thereafter, they would take the number one fittest person in the world in CrossFit, and they would get their name, printed on the jump rope, their name on my technology. Everyone in the world is buying it. You guys are thriving right now, selling millions and millions of jump ropes, and with the response of just saying, talk to my attorneys. All I knew was I cannot fight this infringer right now. I have no money. I can't afford an attorney, and I have to just watch them steal. So in 2015, I made the difficult decision, and that's the decision to get rid of my gym. Closed the gym, I gave my kids away to another jump rope coach, and we acquired an attorney, and we started fighting. We're gonna go after the big guy, the Goliath. When I sued them for infringement on my technology, they were able to turn that right back around and challenge me for the validity of my patent. They were able to take my case to the Patent Trial and Appeal Board, the PTAB. I said, what's wrong with my patent? I spent 4 years, $30,000 getting these patents. What's wrong with it? Why are we not discussing infringement? Why are we discussing the validity of my patent? My attorneys tried to explain to me, Molly, this is a normal process. This is a new thing in the law. It's okay. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna trust these. These are my attorneys telling me this. I'm gonna trust the system. My oral argument was in my attorney's home. I was on a Zoom call. One of the judges had a barking dog behind them, so they were very distracted by this dog. My entire life is on the line in a Zoom call with a barking dog. I was expecting that my patent and the infringement of my patent would be brought to a judge, a jury, that there would be evidence, and I thought I would get a fair process by doing this. And that wasn't the case. Just a month ago, I was sitting at my computer. I got an email from my attorney. It was the official receipt from the USPTO. Shows that your patents are officially invalidated. An invention is not just going to the patent office and waiting the 4 years for your invention. It is the thousands of steps I've taken with my jump rope and analyzing myself and kids, and it's my passion. I'm a jump rope coach who made a really good jump rope. I was given a patent. I paid money for a patent. I have a ribbon with a red sticker on it that says, "You are an inventor." And I have the right to protect my invention. And that was taken away. I lost all my licensing agreements. So that's monies on top of the monies I spent just to fight for the validity of my patent. At this point, I have spent over $500,000 defending my patent, and now I have nothing. I would probably not have gotten a patent now that I know what I know today.
You don't want that to become the great impression of the U.S. patent system. Hey, it's not worth your time. Then you don't have inventions, you don't have people coming up with innovative solutions. What we don't want is for the patent system to become the great unequalizer. If I come up with an idea, the last thing I want to see happen is for some corporation to step in and then leave me out. We had this great concept of how it should work. Protect these inventions, and you motivate people to come up with creative solutions. We've lost our way in some way.
We have an obligation to continue to advance hope to the Rashans and Mahdi's of the world. We do that by continuing to have the open conversation and dialogue, how we can lessen the time, how we can lessen the expense, and how we can remove the clutter as it relates to patent disputes. No small inventor should ever let anyone change their trajectory to being rewarded for their intellectual property.
All I can say, I gotta stay in the fight. I got more than just my pride on the line. I got father's legacy on my back. I got my children's legacy in front of me, so I'm gonna continue to push. I'm gonna continue to fight.
I work for everything. I fight for everything. My fight is now about fighting for other inventors like me. I would challenge every large company to go back in time when they started their business, and they were probably a small company with little means, with patents that grew them to where they are today, and to remember that. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. And what I'm learning is that this is a problem. It is a big problem. And I want to fix this. I want to help fix this. We will get there, and I'll make sure of it.